you mentioned different kind of sophisticated people, investors, different type levels of investors. And in your typical deal that you, I don't know if the right term is broker and find investors to go in with you on your properties.
Syndicate.
If you so choose to do that, are you looking for the highest level investor? You kind of looking for a group of investors at different levels? That's
a great question. So in the eyes of, and now it opens up a category that I'm going to float at the 10,000 foot level and just kind of break it down a little bit. Everything we do in the investment world, we're talking about apartment investments, I think is what you're referring to.
Yes, right? multifamily.
It's right. Called a syndication when you put a bunch of investors together and pool their money to take down a complex. That is regulated and monitored by the Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC, and there's rules surrounding them. And I'm going to pick the two most popular for what we do. One is a 506B, Regulation B, and one is a 506C, Charlie. A 506B is what's referred to as the Friends and Family Plan. Okay, so what that means is you don't have to have any level of wealth. You don't have to have anything as far as there's no financial criteria to be involved with the deal. Most of what we do is a B, a Baker, 506B, because I invite my friends and family that may not be accredited investors, which we'll talk about in just a moment. So what that means is the main requirement for B is that I have a pre-existing relationship with you. I know you very well, and I say, hey, Gary, I got a spot where we can do a deal here. Here's what the returns look like. I'll send you the link to the recording. You can review it. And because we have that pre-existing relationship, and that's definable as have met more than once prior to this conversation, then I can invite you in this deal. Now, it has been expanded over the years, most recently, to be, Gary, if you knew somebody that you had a pre-existing relationship with, and I invited you in, even though I didn't have one, we could still allow him legally into the deal, okay? Okay. So there is no financial requirement that other than the pre-existing relationship factor. Okay, that's a B, Friends and Family Plan. A C said, oh, and by the way, because of that pre-existing relationship on a B, I can't hop up on Facebook and start touting the returns and the deal and bring people in that I've never met before. That would be advertising, and you can't, broadly advertising, which is not allowed. Okay. So a C, a Charlie, a 506C is for accredited investors only. That I can advertise with, and I don't need a pre-existing relationship. Accredited investor as defined by the Securities and Exchange Commission. So somebody has a net worth of $1 million or more, or has an income of $300,000 annually. I'm sorry, $200,000 and $300,000 if they're married and their spouse, and has the probability being very high that they will do that again in the current year that we're sitting at, not just 1 year, not a one-off, right? And there's a lot of different details. I'm going to stop there on what an accredited investor is, but basically, the thinking from the Securities and Exchange Commission is if somebody's at that level of wealth, they have a level of sophistication that they know how to analyze the deal and not be taken advantage of. That's their thinking. So I can throw that up on Facebook. I can invite people into it. So if you ever see a deal that's being promoted on Facebook or you got an email because you're on somebody's list and it says it's a 506C, Charlie, and it's for accredited investors, that's what they're talking about. They're able to reach out to you even though they don't have a personal relationship with you, and they can solicit you to invest in their deal. We do both. We do C's, we do B's. I think a D is almost like the next level, which is I don't do them, which is crowdfunding. Oh, by the way, B's and C's are property-specific deals. In other words, we have found a deal and we have underwrote the deal, we have negotiated the deal, we have got the deal into contract, and we're in escrow right now, 60-day, 75-day escrow, and we're inviting you into this deal that we're going to be closing on in the near future. It's property-specific. crowdfunding and the Grant Cardones of this world that people just go on faith and invest money in, to a fund, crowdfunding, that's hence the term. They bring people in and then they go looking for the property. So it's not property specific. It is just, it's return specific. They are touting that they will do specific returns, but there's no guarantees of that. A little bit other than the big brother, Security and Exchange Commission, keeping an eye on them, and the reputation of a proven track record in the past. There's really no guarantees on a crowdfunding deal. There's no property specific that it's going to. There's no business plan. There's a business plan in place. I shouldn't say that, but there's no property specific business plan in place. Jake, is your interpretation of what I just shared, and you want to add to that any differently? I know you're very educated on this as well.
The only thing about the accredited investor is the $1 million net worth has to exclude your primary residence.
Thank you for that. Yep, that's exactly right.
Okay.
So if you're sitting on a $500,000 house that's paid for, that's not gonna be included in the $1 million worth of net worth. It's outside of your personal residence. Thank you for that reminder, Jake.
I guess if you're going under a 506C for Jake and Rob, you're probably got a whole different level of sophistication of investors.
That's the thinking, yes. And
okay.
My experience has been that's true. They ask a lot more pointed questions, deal-specific questions, and we get those questions answered for them.
So either one of those, a B or a C, is property specific.
To the best of my knowledge, at least the ones I've always done, yes is the answer to your question. Now, if someone may watch this recording and know that there's an offshoot of some sort that I'm not aware of, but yes, it's always been property specific.